He's too busy helping out the referees.
There you go. Yes, you're absolutely right,
Court
Frank.
advantage for the Nets.
Frank and Chris back in RES Network studios. Nets with the win at home, bouncing back from that loss in their home opener against Charlotte. We just heard Patty Mills with Michael Grady, Frank, talking about the defense being better tonight, and the Nets had some juice.
Yeah, they definitely did, coming off of a disappointing game on Sunday against Charlotte. Really, that first quarter was everything. It set the tone. The Nets had 38 points. Washington never recovered. The Brooklyn Nets held the lead for the last 45 minutes of this game. They did get as close as 9 at one point in the third quarter. Washington did, but you really never felt like they were going to threaten the Brooklyn Nets. Good performance by them, because on a back-to-back, you didn't know how guys would react, especially Kevin Durant. Think about this, Chris. Last year, he played in 3 back-to-backs. That's 3 back-to-backs over the course of almost 600 days. First one of this season, he's out there playing.
And you talked about that run in the third quarter where they did cut the game down to 9 points. And who stopped that run? It was at the free throw line, albeit the Nets didn't have a field goal for almost the first 5 minutes of that third quarter. But it was Kevin Durant, and he is our player of the game. And Frank, over the first 4 games of the season, he's averaging 30.5 points per game.
Yeah, you think about what he did last night to the Hornets with 38 points, and it's just classic Kevin Durant. He doesn't settle, doesn't take bad shots, tries to get into the lane. How about that crossover? Went to the hoop there, was unable to finish, but he did draw the foul. You think the Achilles is okay?
I think so. I think so. And if that went in, even though it didn't go in, I mean, it's on our highlight reel here of Kevin Durant, but if that went in, that would have been on Twitter on a loop.
Yeah, and that one at the end of the half, that gave him 24,000 career points, moves into 26th place on the NBA's all-time scoring list.
And that one gave the Nets an 87-68 lead. And how about this, Frank? You're always coming up with these great stats. How about this stat? Allen Iverson and Kevin Durant both reached the 24,000-point plateau in their 888th game.
That is amazing.
Frank, we're talking about practice here.
888. It was 8888. That's when Danilo Gallinari was born. That's why he wore number 8.
Really?
And they got 888, which is when they both got their 24,000.
And I instantly...
It all comes back to basketball somehow.
Well, I was going to give a football reference really quick there, because an 888 right down the middle of the field and hope for a pass interference. That was an old NFL Films reference. You probably know that, too. You're around my age.
John Facenda.
Yeah, there you go. So Kevin Durant had a great game. And we talked about in the pregame show that the Nets had to find some more offense.
Yep.
Not just James Harden, not just Kevin Durant. They needed to find a third wheel, and that third wheel tonight was Patty Mills.
Yeah, we talked about Joe Harris in the pregame. He got going, but really, Patty Mills was terrific. And this is what he's going to bring to this team. Now, you expect him to hit threes. He can do this as well. He can put the ball on the floor, hit the little pull-up jumper, but this is where he makes his money. Coming off of a little curl, catch and shoot for Patty Mills. Another handoff, and he just shoots it. Look at this one, puts it on the floor again. Just Aaron Holiday's ankles a little bit. And look at the extra pass by Kevin Durant. That's why you love playing with Kevin Durant. Such a smart player. And Patty Mills just knocking down shots left and right.
And that's what we saw more of tonight from the Nets, was the ball movement. The ball was popping for most of the game, and we didn't see that last night against the Hornets. As you take a look at Mills off the bench, 21 points. The entire Wizards bench scored 31. Mills scored 21. All by himself, 8 of 14 from the field, 5 of 9 from downtown. That's half of the makes that the Nets had, too, from downtown.
And what Patty Mills talked about with Michael Grady defensively is where they really got it done. Because Washington came into the game, they had 98 in their home opening win against the Toronto Raptors, 135 their next time out in an overtime win against Indiana. And now tonight, the Nets do a pretty good job defensively on it.
Frank, let's take a look now at the final stats in this one. And the Nets got off to that hot start, almost shooting 60% in that first quarter. Third quarter was a little bit weird, Frank, going back and forth. The lead goes down to 9.
That tells you all you need to know about this game for the Brooklyn Nets. They missed their first 8 shots of the second half. They go nearly 5 minutes without scoring in the third quarter, and they still outscored Washington in the third quarter 23-22. That's when Washington had their chance. They did get as close as 9, but a little too much Kevin Durant, Patty Mills.
And, you always thought at some point Spencer Dinwiddie would catch fire, Bradley Beal would catch fire, but it never happened.
No, it really didn't.
And it was the defense of the Nets tonight, Frank, that really got the job done.
Especially Dinwiddie, because I think a lot of people felt first of all, he loves to shoot. He's on a team where they're looking for him to have the ball in his hands and to score a lot. You figured coming back to Brooklyn, he just didn't have it.
Yeah, just 3 for 13 from the field for Dinwiddie. All right, we're going to step aside, take our first break here on the postgame show. Coming up, we're going to hear from Nets head coach Steve.
Great to have you sticking around with us. We've got post-game reaction coming up from Chris Middleton and Coach Bud. But first, Steve, an impressive win here tonight. A lot of numbers skewing Milwaukee, and they didn't give up the lead until way back in the first half.
Yeah, they really did maintain, and they played a very complete game. And it's, I think, really great to see this early in the season that there's such a focus on, after a Miami game like a couple games ago, that there is the ability to bounce back. And even without a Jrue Holiday and a Brook Lopez, this was a pretty complete performance. When you have Giannis and Chris combining in the first quarter for 24 points and coming out so strong, it really does set the tone for this team. There's no doubt this has been a little bit of a road trip early in the season where you can lose track of your focus, maybe not get it done, but they did a heck of a job getting the win in Indy tonight. Now they get to come home to some home games.
Yeah, they've been fun to watch. First game of the year at home, the next 3 on the road, and then the next 3 coming up now this week will be back at Pfizer Forum. So a good chance for you to go and see the champs in person and see maybe the best player in the NBA. Okay, we'll just say it. Giannis Antetokounmpo tonight. Great night on the stat board for him. He misses a triple-double by just 1 assist. 30, 10, and 9 for Giannis here. And this was his game with a lot of guys still down with injuries.
Yeah, and I think what you really is crazy because the one stat that kept him from the triple-double was the assist, like you said. But it seems to me that that's really what's opened the floor up for him all night long, was his willingness to pass the ball. He's always on the attack, downhill, but that little touch, that little fadeaway you heard Marcus talking about in game has really come a long way. All of a sudden there's some easy buckets for him, but the reason he has so much space is he is always beautiful finish there. He is always a willing passer, and so in the beginning of the game, whether he's downhill or he's looking to pass the ball, it really does open things up for him, and I think he continues to let the game come to him, especially against a team like Indiana when it's Turner down low and Sabonis down low. He knows he's going to be facing some big bodies and guys trying to be physical. He takes what the defense is giving him, and I think it continues to pay off for the Bucks tonight, just shy of a triple-double.
So no Brook Lopez, no Jrue Holiday, normal starters for Milwaukee. They're out with injuries, so it's Chris Middleton and Giannis combining for 57 here tonight. We're going to break down Chris's game in a moment, but first let's hear from Chris Middleton. Go back to Indy now. He's standing by with Dario Melendez.
Chris, things getting a little chippy there in the fourth quarter. How are you guys able to keep your composure?
Just competing, that's all. A little extra. Sometimes it helps. Sometimes it gives you a little motivation, but we move fast and keep playing basketball.
With so many guys out, you talked after the Miami game that you needed the young guys to step up and be aggressive. How do you think they played tonight?
They played great. It's nothing but experience for these guys. The more minutes they get out there, the better they are. Justin was great. Jordan was great. Everybody down the line that played. Sandro, same thing.
Chris, thanks so much. Chris Middleton, 27 points, 2 triples. Bucks have now won 10 of their last 12 games about their division foe, the Indiana Pacers.
Yeah, good numbers here. 27, 7 assists as well, a block and a steal. Doing it all tonight.
You know, it really is. And before the game, we talked about the rhythm that he's been in. Look at that shot right there at the end of the first quarter, getting an and 1 3-pointer. But the rhythm that he's been in really since last season, playing his absolute best basketball as a professional last year in the playoffs. Monster games really helped carry this team, especially when Giannis was banged up and hurt for a little bit of time in the playoffs. And now you just continue to see him roll. Wins a gold medal. He comes out against San Antonio last game, has 28 points. Tonight, 27 points. I think that there was a knock on Chris at certain times in his career as just kind of getting comfortable. Maybe not finding good shots, missing too many shots. It's just not who he is anymore. He is a consistent shooter, a 50, 40, 90 guy, and I think you're really starting to see, no matter when he's on the court with Giannis or without, he's a guy that the team looks to and he makes shots.
Again, the Bucks playing shorthanded here in this one, so Grayson Allen steps up in a starter's role again here early in the season for Coach Bud. And tonight, an impressive night for him. 19 points, hit 4 threes, also a block, also a steal. A lot of these guys doing it on both ends of the floor here tonight.
Yeah, and it's great to see because you realize as the season progresses, shot making and the guys around the big three are going to continue to be so important. That's why this addition, I think, has been so key for the Milwaukee Bucks. Understands his role. He's a shot maker, a very good defender on the other end. But what he really brings to this team, I think, is Giannis's trust. Right there, you see it. He gives him the ball in good spots. He's ready to shoot it. Also can put the ball on the floor. And I think for a guy like the wing that's going to play alongside Giannis and Chris, for a Grayson Allen to be able to be a spot-up guy at times and stand in the corner, that's important. But also to be able to put the ball on the floor, run a pick and roll, that's really key. And I think you're seeing from him, he is not a guy that can just do one thing, similar to Wara. The Bucks right now, they have depth with guys that can really do more than just one thing.
Yeah, he's been impressive to watch early on, first time with the Milwaukee Bucks organization. All right, we're going to step aside, come back with more little fast break fun for you. The Bucks putting up some big-time